Are you looking for the best photo editing apps on your phone? Then you are like me 1 year ago. In this video, I'm gonna share with you my top 5 photo editing apps I like to use on my iPhone, and I'm gonna share the experience I gained over the last year while editing with these apps. If you want to get more tips and tricks about how to build a creative career, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video each Wednesday. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm gonna share with you my top 5 photo editing apps for your phone. The people who followed my journey so far know that I've been hired by Apple this year for this year's Shot and Edited on iPhone campaign, so my image was actually printed on large billboards all around the globe. And the most common question I get from people is, did you really shoot and edit this photo with your iPhone? And my answer is hell yes. So as you already can guess, I spent a lot of time searching through different photo editing apps, and I now selected my top 5 photo editing apps I really like to use still, and I also use to create this photo for Apple. So just for clarification, I didn't get paid for any information in this video. This is just my own opinion of what editing apps really work for me and what maybe also work for you. So let's start with the first photo editing app I would highly recommend to you, which is Lightroom. If I could choose only one photo editing app from all of them, I would probably choose Lightroom, because Lightroom is such a multifunctional app. You can actually shoot within the app in RAW. So you heard right, you can actually shoot photos in RAW on your iPhone, and you can also edit really effectively your photos in the Lightroom app. So let's have a look inside the Lightroom app so you can see what you can actually do in there. So you see we are here in the Lightroom app right now. I just opened a photo and you can see at the bottom there are a lot of different functions. So you can actually change the light inside of your image. You can see you can change the exposure, you can change the contrast, etc. But you can also change the colors within this app. So you can just go on the color section and you can change the temperature within the app. But if you go on this little icon up here on the color mix panel, you can actually choose exactly which color you want to change and change it separately from each other, which is my favorite tool, to be honest. So this is really helpful. I can quickly show you how it works on the blue tones, because in this image you can see we have a lot of blue tones. So I can actually make them more greenish when I go down here, and I can make them like pinkish, reddish when I go up here. I can make them more saturated, but I can make them almost black and white when I just desaturate the blue tones. I can also make them brighter and darker, which is super cool. You also have a bunch of other functions in the Lightroom app. For example, you can sharpen your image. You can also transform your image really effectively. And you have different presets. You can see there are a couple of presets already available in the app. So you can either make the contrast a little higher, etc. So there are just a bunch of different presets which actually function the same way as filters. So if you just want to get some filter on your photo, you can just download some cool presets and try them out in this Lightroom app, which is really cool. But I didn't show you my favorite features yet, which is actually, one of them is the healing brush. So you can see you can go on here, and this is the healing brush, and you can really effectively remove areas you don't want to have in your image. So I just really quickly want to show you how it works with this little birthmark. So I can just simply remove it, and I just have my my brush in here. You can see the edges are feathered. You can see I just quickly paint over it, and it just takes an area inside the image which is pretty much the same color and same structure as the area I want to cover, and you can see it's just removed, and you can't see that there was something there before. So healing brush is really cool in here, and my favorite tool is the selective brush. So you can actually change colors inside the Lightroom app, which I really love. So I'm really quickly gonna show you how it works with the star in my face. I'm just gonna make it blue, and I'm just gonna go on this little plus icon, and then I'm just gonna create a new brush. And I put adjustments on this brush, which is the temperature. I'm gonna make the temperature like more cold, which is automatically a little bit bluer, and also the tint a little bit more reddish. And then I'm gonna paint in with my brush. I can make it smaller if I needed to, and I'm gonna just paint inside this star and make it blue. So you can see the star is blue now. So what is your favorite editing tool? Let me know in the comments below. Mine is personally the color mix panel, as I love to change the colors in my photos. And the best part about Lightroom is that the Lightroom app is free for Android and for iPhone. So you can just get it in the App Store or in the Google Play Store, and you can just use it for free. So the second photo editing app I want to share with you is Photoshop Mix. Photoshop Mix is the photo editing app for composing images. It is also for free with an Adobe account, so you just simply need to create an Adobe account with any email address and you can use the app for free, as long as I know. If you have some basic knowledge in editing photos, you know the importance of layers when you want to compose an image. So I searched for a really long time to find any app which was actually capable of having layers within the app, which you can actually still edit and change. And I didn't find any other app which can have more than 3 layers beside of Photoshop Mix. And Photoshop Mix is super simple, super cool to use, and I'm just quickly gonna show you how it's gonna work. So you can see we're here in the app right now. In the document I already edited, so you can actually see that we have a lot of different tools down here. You can adjust, you can put locks on it, you can cut things out, you can plan it, and you can also create new layers with a new image from your camera roll. You can put text on your images, and you can just create a whole layer only with a color. So if I will go on color, I can choose whatever color I like to choose, and then I can actually create a whole layer full of color. I can cut out the layer as well. So I can say, okay, I don't want the layer to show at this kind of part. And I can also blend it in. I can say, okay, I want it to be lighten or screen or whatever. But I can also, as you can see in here, I have another photo with a lot of apple stack on it, and I actually want to select the apple, so I just go on cutout. I have the smart cutout tool, and I can just simply remove the area around the apples and therefore only select the apples. And it's really smart. As you can see, it works pretty well. And now I have 4 apples on my head, except of only 2. So it's really easy, really quick to compose images in Photoshop Mix. And I would definitely recommend it to anybody who wants to compose images on your phone. So the third photo editing app I would highly recommend to you is Adobe Photoshop Fix. And it's actually really good if you want to liquefy any areas or if you want to remove really big areas in your image. So let's jump into the app and I'm gonna show you how it works. So you can see we are here in the app right now again, and at the bottom of the app you can see all the tools again. So we can crop, adjust, liquefy, heal, smooth, light, color, paint, etc. So there are a lot of tools in here, but the tools I usually use in this app is liquefy, as the liquefying tool is really good in here. So I'm just gonna click on it, and you can see with this one, I can actually, if I want to change anything, I usually don't change anything in my body, but it's just like the simplest thing in here right now. So for example, if I would like to make my nose a little bit smaller, I can really easily do it within this tool. And if I go back and forth, you can see it already changed a lot in my face. You can actually also go into the healing brush, and the spot healing tool is really good. So if I just want to remove this star, you can see it just removes it without anything I have to do. I don't have to do anything but actually just paint on the star, and it just basically removes it really simple and so good. And we also have a clone stamp, so it's really good for changing backgrounds, removing people in the background, and also removing fences, anything which you don't want to have in your image. And I honestly find it like the most effective tool to change things in the background and remove things, liquefy things. So this is the tool to go if you have to remove anything in your image. So let's move on to the fourth photo editing app I want to share with you, which is Snapseed. Snapseed is a free photo editing app, and I really was surprised how good it actually is. So let's jump into the app and see what it can do. So you can see we're in the app here right now, and we have different options down here at the bottom. We can actually change the look in your image. You can have a lot of different tools, which is really cool. And you can, of course, export your image. So let's just have a quick look in the tools, and you can see that you can tune your image. So you can actually do exactly the same things that you can do in Lightroom. You can change the shadows, highlights, warmth, etc. So there's so many options, and you can actually also change the gradation curve, which I personally really enjoy. And you can also change the channel. So you can go into the red, into the green, into the blue channel, which isn't possible in Lightroom, which I really love in here. But what isn't possible in here is to use it as a selective brush, which would be like the extra cherry on top of the whole thing here, but it's still a really good tool. And you can see in here, you can actually also have a selective brush as you have in Lightroom, but you can't be as precise as in Lightroom, I would say. For example, here you can see that I can actually change the temperature, and I can make my lips a little bit redder, a little bit warmer. You can see it's changing in here right now, but it just does a little bit, but not as much as you can actually change it in Lightroom. Therefore, I would say it's a really awesome tool. It's a really awesome free tool, but it's either Lightroom or Snapseed. So you can choose which one you like better, either Lightroom or Snapseed. You can also choose because of the interface. I would say Snapseed has like some really cool little extras, as for example, here's some filters, drama filters. You have some retro looks, like some kind of different filter thingies, which I hardly ever use. So I personally prefer Lightroom as an app, but Snapseed is a really cool app, especially for beginners. So the fifth and last editing app I want to show you is Afterlight. Afterlight is also an option for Lightroom, I would say, but it has some extra functions as Snapseed as well. So we're gonna jump right into the app, and I'm gonna show you how it works. So you can see right now we are in Afterlight. We have a lot of different options again. Down here we can actually rotate and actually transform our image however we want to. We also have like all the adjustments in here, but we also have the touch tools, which is really cool, as we can actually paint with a brush inside of our images again, which I really love. And we can say how big it should be. And then we can actually paint inside our images. For example, here saturate the lips even a little bit more. Maybe also saturate the star a little bit more. So we can really go in here and change selective areas inside our image. So we can actually also put some filters in here on the app. So you can see that we have some filters which look like some kind of old film, which is really awesome. You can also see we have different filters in here with different effects. So if you want to work with a lot of filters, I think this app is really cool, really creative. There are a couple of really awesome filters in here, and you can also put some dust in here, which I haven't seen in any other apps before, to be honest. You can see you can also put some light effects in here, which are kind of cool. You can also change the colors of the light effects. So it's really creative. You can just try things out, try what works best for your images. So it's a really creative app, and I think it's fitting the best to people who don't want to edit too much, but just want to have some photo manipulation, some kind of cool effect on your photos. The app costs something, so it's $3 a month for a monthly subscription and $18 for a yearly subscription, so it's not for free. I would just try it out and see if it works for your style. So these were my 5 favorite editing apps I use regularly. I actually use the Photoshop Mix, Photoshop Fix and Lightroom app to edit my Apple photo. I hope this helped you and you will start creating awesome photos with your iPhone apps. If you want to get an exact step-by-step tutorial of how to edit photos on your phone with these editing apps, you can just check out my Skillshare course about how to shoot and edit photos on your iPhone at the link below. And if you want to get more photo inspiration, make sure to subscribe to my channel, as I'll be sharing a video about 10 awesome photo ideas you can easily shoot at home with your phone next week. If you like that video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching and see you next Wednesday.